Hi everyone, this is Pushpa. Welcome back to Corner of Study. Today we are going to talk about reproduction in organisms. So just take a glance on reproduction, its definition, types of reproduction based on the number of parents involved in this process, and just start with lifespan. So, what is lifespan? Lifespan is a period from birth to the natural death of an organism. It's just a period or a time that starts from the birth of organism to the natural death of an organism. So, lifespans of organisms are not necessarily correlated with their sizes. Any size of organism is not related to the age of organism. So, no individual is immortal except single-celled organisms. Yes, every organisms are going to die one day, but only single-celled organisms go on dividing, and which gives rise to other organisms. So they are immortal, but the higher organisms are not immortal. They are going to die one day. So when it comes to the definition of reproduction, the biological process. Reproduction is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones like offspring similar to itself. This is a biological process where a organism, it can be called a parent organism, give rise to a young one which is same as that of its parent. The offspring grow, mature, and in turn produce new offspring. This is the biological cycle goes on, producing offspring, then producing offspring from the parents. Thus there is a cycle of birth, then growth, and finally death. Some of the factors affecting reproduction of organisms are: one is organism's habitat, where it's living and all. It's internal physiology. Physiological characteristics which affect the reproduction of organism, and some of the environmental conditions. Reproduction can be divided into two types, yes, based on the participation of number of parents. If two parents will be participated in this process, then it's called as sexual reproduction. If only one parent is involved or no parent is involved in the process, the process is called as asexual reproduction. Yes. When comes to asexual reproduction, this is the process when offspring is produced by a single parent with or without the involvement of gamete formation. The reproduction is asexual. This is process which doesn't involve any gamete formation between two parents. It is just a asexual reproduction where a single parent is involved. Yes, when it comes to sexual reproduction, yes, there is the gamete formation between two between two parents, where there will be fusion of male and female gametes. Then there will be zygote formation, embryo, then fertilization, everything occurs. So this is called as sexual reproduction. When we go to asexual reproduction in detail, because it's not just a single parent involved, then this is called as asexual reproduction. We just go through some of the asexual reproduction structures. Then there is terminology called vegetative propagation, or vegetative propagules, vegetative reproduction. We just go through that, okay. In asexual reproduction, what happens is single individual or a parent is capable of producing offspring which are identical copies of their parent. So when it comes to identical genetically and morphologically, we use the term clone. We use the clone. It's a terminology where organism is genetically and morphologically, both genetically and morphologically similar to its parent. Yes. Asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organisms in plants and animals which have relatively simple organization. The body organization is very simple in the animals and plants where asexual reproduction takes place. So we just go through some of the examples in asexual reproduction. Yes. In protists and monerans, the organism or the parent cell divides into two, which gives rise to a new individual. A complete cell which divides into two cells, those two cells will grow into a new organism which is called as asexual reproduction. This is a form of sexual reproduction. Cell division itself a sexual reproduction process. And there is process called binary fission. Binary fission where cell divides into two halves and each rapidly grows into an adult. Yes, which occurs in, like examples I have given, amoeba and paramecium. Then budding. Budding is a form of asexual reproduction where division is unequal and small buds are produced that remain attached initially. Initially, those buds are attached to parental cell. Then eventually those small buds get separates and mature into a new organism. Isn't it? Small buds attached are then separated from the parent cell. Then it grows itself into a new organism. So this process usually occurs in yeast cells. Members of kingdom, fungi and simple algae reproduce through special reproductive structures. So members and organisms which are included in fungi and simple algae, those organisms or members which reproduce through some of the reproductive structures. We just go through those reproductive structures. I said about we talked about what is that, amoeba which is involved in the binary fission where this is a single cell where along with nucleus cell is going to divide, which divides into two separate cells. Those separate cells gives rise to an daughter cells, isn't it? This is called as binary fission. It's a form of asexual reproduction. So this is the diagram of budding where parent cell, then there will be formation of small bud. That bud get eventually separate from parent cell. This is called as budding. This cell division in unicellular organism occurs where budding in yeast and binary fission in amoeba, as I said above. Yes. Okay, these are asexual reproductive structures, conidia. Then these are the zoospores. Diagram A representing these are zoospores. Okay. Second diagram is representing conidia, which is in penicillium. Then budding, where structure of growth of bud in hydra, which is in hydra. Then gemmules in sponge. Gemmules occurs in sponge. Yes, asexual reproductive structures are shown here. Just go through that. Okay. Yes, examples then: members with their asexual reproductive structures. Zoospores in Chlamydomonas. The zoospores are microscopic motile structure which helps in movement. Okay. Conidia in Penicillium, buds in Hydra, gemmules in sponges. When it comes to vegetative reproduction is frequently used in plants, which is not used or occurs in higher organisms such as animals and all. It occurs in plants. We use this term frequently in plants. So when it comes to definition of vegetative reproduction, units of vegetative propagation such as runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset, bulb are capable of giving rise to a new offspring. These structures are called vegetative propagules. Vegetative reproduction or vegetative propagation occurs through some of the vegetative structures. Yes, I mentioned here, such as runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset, bulb. These all are called as vegetative propagules. You just remember the terminology vegetative propagules, which gives rise to new organism through vegetative reproduction. Okay. Since there is no formation of gametes or involvement of two parents, process is asexual. Why vegetative reproduction is included in asexual reproduction means there is no formation of any gametes and there is no involvement of two parents. There is asexual reproductive structures are involved in the process, so the process is called as vegetative reproduction, which is included in asexual reproduction. Okay. When it comes to vegetative propagules, these are the structures or the diagrams. You just go through these diagrams. Vegetative propagules in angiosperms, eyes of potato. These outgrowth we called as eyes or germinating eye buds, which gives rise to then other plantlets. Then nodes in ginger. These adventitious roots, buds, nodes gives rise to plantlets. This diagram D, you just observe the leaf structure. We observe these adventitious buds in the leaves which are very thick. When we sense that they are very thick in appearance, which gives rise to small adventitious buds which are same as that of in shape and structure leaves growth. Okay. And then offsets which give rise to new plantlets. So this is all about asexual reproduction. Okay, you just go through the all diagrams and notes I have given here. Then we will talk about sexual reproduction in organism in further classes. Thank you for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye.